Arizona plans to criminalize nearly all abortions. More details tonight.
Drowning in student loans? The Biden administration is looking to fix that.
Texas has been over the moon in light of the recent solar eclipse. More tonight on how it's affected the eyes.
Broadcasting live from the University of North Texas, this is ntTV Nightly News.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us on ntTV Nightly News. I'm Grace Escobar.
And I'm Avery Callens. The financial burden of student loans is something college students are facing now, and many college graduates are still trying to pay off. For the past 2 years, the Biden administration has been trying to develop a loan forgiveness program that would solve this economic problem. ntTV's Matthew Winter has more on the latest development in this effort.
Thanks, Avery. Nearly 60% of the 40,000 students here at UNT receive some sort of financial aid. With numbers like that, students here are directly affected by any new policy changes surrounding student loans, especially that of forgiveness. President Joe Biden has announced a new plan to push for more relief, which could affect more than 30 million students, many of which are on our own campus. CNN's Julia Benbrook has the story.
I'm proud to announce 5 major actions to continue to relieve student debt for more than 30 million Americans.
A new push from President Joe Biden to fulfill one of his 2020 campaign promises. The president traveled to Wisconsin on Monday, a key swing state, to unveil the details of his new student loan forgiveness plan.
Too many Americans, especially young people, are saddled with unsustainable debts in exchange for a college degree. It's not just a drag on them, it's a drag on our local economies.
The new plan will impact people who have balances bigger than what they originally borrowed due to interest, and those who qualify for forgiveness under existing programs but have not applied. It will also assist those who began repaying their debts at least 20 years ago, those who enrolled in so-called low financial value programs, and those experiencing financial hardship.
And over the coming months, the Department of Education will propose and then implement these plans.
This is Biden's second attempt to implement broad student loan forgiveness. The Supreme Court struck down his first plan last summer. Several conservative-led states and groups sued his administration over the first program, arguing the executive branch had overstepped its authority.
The Supreme Court blocked us, but that didn't stop us.
The Biden administration has already canceled student loan debt for about 4 million people, mostly using existing programs. That's more than any other president. The new proposals must still go through a public comment period. Then after reviewing those comments, the Department of Education will publish the final version of the rule. It's a process that could take months and will likely face new legal challenges. Reporting in Washington, I'm Julia Benbrook.
If students do receive relief, they can afford to spend money on cooler things, like local Denton businesses. Deja Jackson has a scoop on one of your options.
Denton is really big on community, but has been a really big help for small businesses owners. This right location has been a very big help for TWU and UNT students, has been a help for each owner to expand their business. For example, the Denton Community Market has provided lots of recognition for owners and continues to grow our community. Denton residents are dedicated to the community and keeps providing towards Denton growth and success. Scout and Independent Economic Development platform has ranked Denton as one of the top cities for business in Texas for 2023, right behind Fort Worth and Dallas, Houston, and McKinney. So if you're thinking about expanding your business, think about adding a list of Denton to a list of your options to expand your business. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Deja. Well, when it comes to money, we are all open to good advice, but here is one suggestion you may want to avoid. If you're on TikTok, you've probably heard of the hashtag FinTalk trend circling around your For You page. As of April 15th, the deadline gets closer, and many are searching on the app for tax and financial advice. But when it comes to these sources on TikTok, you might want to fact check them before you take any advice. CNN's Kara Kefa has more on this.
From budgeting to student loan payments, the hashtag FinTalk has exploded on TikTok.
It really just shows how many people are looking for that personal finance advice, how to save their paycheck, how to spend their paycheck, and especially during this time of year, how to file taxes.
Brad Messner of the National Association of Tax Professionals and a professor at the University of Pittsburgh says social media can give voice to some helpful sources for tax topics, but not all have the same credibility and expertise.
In a lot of cases, there's a lot of intricacies and nuances. So there is no way in a 15-second, or even in some cases, a 30-second or 3-minute clip to explain all of the details around a topic.
The IRS said this week bad information on social media, including schemes like misusing W-2 forms to scam a bigger refund, can lead a taxpayer to big trouble. Nick Molney, managing editor at CNET, says users should always do their own research.
The fact check that you always want to put into place, make sure that you know the basics and that you're not just following someone's potential get-rich-quick messaging that may or may not even be true.
After all, Messner says it's the individual filer who's held accountable for that tax return.
When you submit that return or when you sign that return, you are ultimately responsible for it. And if anything comes into question, just the response of, oh, well, I saw that on TikTok is not really a valid response in the terms of an audit.
In Washington, I'm Karen Kafa.
Grace, I was in Houston this past weekend, and it feels like I am right back there with all of these humid thunderstorms we've been having.
Yes, I am not a fan of the thunderstorms, and I forgot my umbrella, so hopefully the rain can hang off for the rest of the night.
Yes, let's see if our weather anchor, Kate Klein, has some better news for you with our weather report. Kate?
Thanks, guys. I do actually have some good weather approaching. I will have that more in our 7-day forecast coming up. But as of right now, current conditions across Denton, it's currently 65 degrees, feeling like the same. Winds are pretty strong out of the east-northeast at 12 miles per hour, and it's currently cloudy skies. As we move toward tonight, things are going to cool down just a little bit to a cool 60 degrees, feeling like 53. Winds are pretty mild out of the northeast at 8 miles per hour, and it's going to be having some rain showers tonight in the mix for tonight. As we look toward tomorrow, things are going to heat back up a little bit to 64, feeling like 60 degrees. Winds are going to be really strong out of the north-northwest at 15 miles per hour, and we're going to again have some rain showers in the mix. Going back to tonight, though, we are going to see the possibility of some severe weather headed our way. As you can see with the radar, we won't be getting any rain until past midnight and into the overnight hours, but the severe risk is still there, with large hail and damaging winds being the main risks for tonight. And that is all I have for your weather right now, but stay tuned as I will be back in a few minutes with your 7-day forecast.
Thanks, Cade. Hey, Grace, can you guess what the jumbled letters L, O, S, A, and R spell?
I'm gonna guess solar.
Yes, that is so correct. When we come back, we will take a look at the solar eclipse and how different people viewed it.
And now we return to Fabric of Passion.
Oh, Hector, it will be so hard for us to part, but we must.
But, my love, what did I do? I thought we were meant to be together forever.
I am so disheartened to say that you're just not in style anymore. But you will be, to someone else, in a better place.
You're gonna shred me?
No.
I'm donating you to one of the many closing donation boxes available on campus. There is one in the Union by the Syndicate and one on Union Circle Drive.
Oh, well, why didn't you just say so? I'm gonna be someone's new shirt.
I thought you'd be more distressed.
Oh, absolutely not. It was cramped in your closet anyways.
Maybe you would like to be shredded after all.
Has this ever happened to you?
My bike is gone.
Stolen bikes are an epidemic sweeping college campuses across America.
What am I supposed to do?
It's quite simple. The We Mean Green Fund has partnered with the UNT Police Department to offer free bike locks to any UNT student with a bike. Just show up with your bike in tow and ask.
Now I'll never lose my bike ever again.
Enough worrying. Get your bike lock today.
All right, look up here. 1, 2, 3.
Mom, Dad, I got it.
Mom. I have.
A major ruling by the Arizona Supreme Court today made nearly all abortions in the state a criminal offense. The court based this decision on a law that was passed back in 1864. The only exception is if the mother's life is at stake. Breaking this law could result in a prison sentence of up to 4 years. United States Senator Mark Kelly called this extreme development and now makes doctors into criminals.
This is going to criminalize doctors for doing their jobs, and it's going to have a devastating effect on the health and freedom of women in Arizona. It's going to put lives at risk.
The Arizona Supreme Court says the state can start enforcing this law in the next 2 weeks. No word yet if there are plans to challenge this ruling to the United States Supreme Court.
Avery, I am crossing my fingers hoping that we can avoid any more storms for the rest of the week.
Yes, I am right there with you, Grace. Let's go ahead and see what our weather anchor, Cade Klein, can tell us, and let's see if he can make our wish come true. Cade?
Thanks, guys. We definitely have some sunny skies and 80-degree temperatures on the way. I will get to that momentarily in our 7-day forecast. As of right now, current conditions across North Texas, it is great outside. Pretty mild. We got 60s across the board, either 63, 64, or 65. Nothing else. All right, let's move to the state map real quick. As you can see, we got a big change. As you can see, 41 in Amarillo. They're almost to freezing. Can you believe it? And then we got 61 in El Paso, and going to highlight 81 in the capital in Austin. Let's move to our 7-day forecast to see those sunny skies coming up ahead. Starting tomorrow, though, we're going to have some rain showers in the mix, high of 64, low of 52, 84% chance of rain showers. No severe risk for tomorrow, just for tonight. Looking ahead to Thursday through Saturday, we're going to have sunny skies on all those days, highs in the 70s going to 83 on Saturday, and lows going from 40s, 50s to 62 on Saturday. Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, we're going to have a mix of sun and clouds on all 3 days, going from a high of 88 on Sunday, and then Monday and Tuesday, we're going to go back to the low 80s, and the lows are still going to be in the low 60s. Looking like a great week ahead of us and a weekend. That's all I have for your weather right now. Back to you, the desk.
Thank you, Cade. UNT held a spectacular event yesterday for the celestial phenomenon. Viewers gathered to witness the solar eclipse at UNT's main campus, UNT at Frisco, and the Discovery Park in Denton, where there was a view of 99% totality. As for UNT's Denton campus, there was a festival on the University Union South Lawn where many students gathered with their friends, brought their blankets, and enjoyed snacks like sun chips, Capri Suns, and moon pies as they enjoyed the once-in-a-lifetime event. There were also many activities being held at UNC campuses as the moon covered the sun, such as trivia and poetry readings. The next solar eclipse to traverse the continental U.S. will occur in 2044. However, the subsequent one in Texas is projected to happen more than 200 years from now, making this Texas eclipse truly a once-in-a-lifetime experience. With the solar eclipse being a once-in-a-lifetime experience, people went to various locations trying to get the best look possible. Our reporter Kayla Bumpus was allowed the opportunity to see the eclipse from the Perot Museum in Dallas. Kayla, what do you have for us?
Well, Avery, history took place in the DFW area, and I was lucky enough to get to enjoy the incredible event hosted by the Perot Museum to commemorate it. The Perot Museum in Dallas hosted the Great North American Eclipse event, and it did not fail to wow me. While at the event, I had the privilege of speaking to an astronomer at the Carnegie Observatories, Dr. Jeff Rich. Dr. Rich was able to expand to me on how his profession and elaborate as to why it is so important.
I know you study nearby galaxies and black holes. What initially made you interested in studying this type of space?
So I was really interested in a lot of different things when I was in graduate school, and I found a really good advisor who was really interested in understanding how galaxies are built, what's inside of galaxies, and the really big question about understanding galaxies in the universe is we're observers. We've looked at lots and lots of things, in this case galaxies, systems of stars, and we are trying to explain how they got the way that they are. One way that we describe it is, imagine you're an alien and you came to Earth for one day, and you're here one day only, and you need to understand how humans are born and grow and age, and you can't talk to anyone. All you can do is take pictures. That's what we do with galaxies. Galaxies live for billions of years. We can't sit and watch a galaxy be born and age, and so we kind of have to put pieces of the puzzle together to figure that whole thing out.
Speaking to Dr. Rich was out of this world, to say the least. I couldn't believe how much there was to learn about galaxies beyond our own. That's all I have for now. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Kayla. As we continue to cover various topics of the solar eclipse, researchers were monitoring animal behaviors during this event at several zoos, including the Dallas Zoo. CNN's Ed Lavandera shares his experience as he watched the animals' response to this celestial phenomenon.
It was like momentarily walking into the classic comedy Night at the Museum, a glimpse into the secret lives of animals at the Dallas Zoo when humans aren't around to watch. Zebra started chasing him, and then the ostriches got into the mix as well. Just as the zoo slipped into total darkness, a jolt of, well, animal energy seemed to shoot through the grounds. The moment mesmerized Lisa Van Sleet, a curator of mammals at the Dallas Zoo.
So did the total eclipse day meet your expectations?
It exceeded my expectations today. There was a lot more activity than I expected to see out of the animals.
Just before total darkness, an ostrich laid an egg and hovered over it for a time, protecting it. Zoo officials say it's not clear if the moment was caused by the eclipse, but that the timing was certainly curious, they said. Guinea fowl suddenly crowed wildly.
You can hear the birds are starting.
The birds are getting louder.
Yeah.
Just before the moon covered the sun for almost 4 minutes, a young giraffe and its mother galloped around the enclosure. The zebras joined in the chase as well. Here and around the country, elephants grouped together and appeared to head back to the area where they sleep. Flamingos packed together in the middle of a pond in their habitat. Primates apparently also thought it was bedtime. Animal experts say the sudden darkness triggered a natural reaction among many of the animals.
At nighttime, predators go out a lot more, and so they have to kind of huddle together to be safety in numbers and in case something's coming, so they went into that instinct pretty quickly.
At this doggy daycare in the Dallas area, this group of dogs seemed to stop, confused by the sudden darkness. When the sun returned, the dogs started playing around again. Another video captured a cat wanting to come inside its home when darkness struck. At the Toledo Zoo, a polar bear didn't seem to care about all the fuss, nonchalantly dove into the water before the sun disappeared. Texas Parks and Wildlife officials teamed up with NASA to set up these acoustic recording devices to monitor the sounds of animals in the wild. But not all animals were flustered or impressed by the total eclipse. Tobogo the giraffe mostly walked around, unfazed, ready to start chewing on the lettuce the humans feed him when the sun came back.
After the eclipse on Monday, Google searches spiked for "Why do my eyes hurt?" Samantha Rodriguez has more.
Thank you, Grace. Well, if you weren't able to use a pair of these during yesterday's eclipse, you may be concerned about potential eye damage. Looking at the sun without protective eyewear can cause irreversible damage. Some symptoms to look out for include blurry vision, headaches, blind spots, and distorted vision. If you're experiencing any of these, please visit an eye doctor immediately. That's all I have for you guys today. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Samantha. Luckily, I used my solar glasses yesterday, so I think my vision is still 20/20.
Same here. I wouldn't be able to play a new game without them. Speaking of, what does BLABCRSE spell?
I'm gonna need a minute to think about that. We will be right back after the break.
Good evening, my name is Amanda Hasbell and I'm joining you here today in the Union Parking Garage. Today we're going to be going over how to drive safely in the parking garage. Let's go see. Oh my god, this girl just got hit by a car. Let's go see what happened. Man, are you okay? Did you see that lady hit me with a car? Yeah, we did. I got it all on video. Oh my God. Let's go over here and talk about how we can prevent that.
Yeah, not the hospital.
Well, right now we're going to ask you a couple questions on how we can drive safely in the parking lot. What are ways that we can be aware of our surroundings?
Oh, we can look both ways.
Jenna, also, how about putting the distractions away?
Yes, just like our phones, turning our music down, and also not focusing on our passengers.
Where can you get information on how to get a parking pass?
Transportation.unt.edu.
If you park in a garage, make sure you pay on the app or look for further instructions on how you should pay.
And remember, no pass, no park. Let's all try to keep our mean green community safe.
Remember, we're all in this together.
Drive safe.
Okay, I think it spells Scrabble?
Yes, you are right.
Yes! Grace, are you a Scrabble fan?
I love playing Scrabble, even though I'm not the best speller.
Me too. And well, you might want to check out the new version of the game Scrabble Together Mattel is launching. The goal of this version isn't to compete, but to collaborate with other players to finish goal cards. This new form of Scrabble comes from more than 75 years after the classic version came out.
Mattel says this new game mode hopes to bring people together and for anyone who finds word games intimidating. Scrabble Together will be available across Europe, and there are no plans to bring this version to America.
Well, there are a lot of ways you can spell win these days, and one of them is Caitlin Clark. We've seen the impact she's had on women's basketball, and now, as ntTV's sports director Drew Maurer says, Major League Baseball is doing the same for young players.
Globe Life Field, home to the Texas Rangers, home to the 2024 All-Star Game, and home to the annual Kubota College Series. It gives college kids a chance to feel pro before they go pro.
It's just the opportunity to play on a big league field, which is super cool. They haven't had the opportunity to do that up until this point. For the scouting, it's an opportunity to see how they are able to handle that type of environment, something where, it's not this small intimate stadium as opposed to, what you see at a Baum Walker in Arkansas or, any other field in the country. They can handle themselves where the pressure's on and the lights are, much brighter than they are at any other stadium. You've got two big boards that have your face plastered on them. It's a little intimidating. It's a little different. It's just the chance to, play on a big league field, and that's cool in and of itself.
The analytics movement has overtaken the game of baseball, but for these kids, they use data a little differently than the pros.
It gives you real data instantaneously. You can see how the matchups will play out 9 times out of 10. From a college standpoint, it's not as advanced, but you get these numbers that allow you to decide how to best play your guys that have draft potential.
The Kubota College Series is changing the game for young baseball players, and it's so exciting that the 2025 tournament will be in Arlington.
Speaking of baseball, Avery, did you catch the Rangers game last night?
Yes, I did, and I'm not too sure how I feel about it. Our sports anchor Gabby Pippins has more on the game.
Yeah, guys, we'll be discussing the Rangers series against the Astros, how the Mavs did Sunday night, and yesterday's historic NCAA championship game right after this.
Willis Library, located at the University of North Texas. It has computers, printers, and the building is open 24/7. By going online, you can book up to an hour of reserved space in one of the many private study rooms. Many of them are equipped with whiteboards, a table, and a TV to hook up to your computer. Textbooks can be checked out for free with a student ID. They also have many of these in ebook forms. This is still a library, so always remember to be quiet and respectful of other surroundings, especially in certain places where talking is not allowed. For example, the 3rd and 4th floor are completely quiet. As you can see, Willis Library has many options for students, with it offering many media sources and staying open all the time.
So a man's been walking in the desert for days at a time. He finally comes across a bar and orders a Coke.
That's not funny.
Eh? Eh?
The Dallas Mavericks are playing the Charlotte Hornets right now in WFAA, and fans are really hoping they can continue their 3-game win streak after Sunday's performance against the Houston Rockets. The Rockets started off strong and kept a steady lead throughout the game, with Dillon Brooks scoring a season high of 29 points. In fact, they led the entire game up until the last 3 minutes. Kyrie helped Dallas come back from a 22-point deficit, and Dante Exum sealed the deal with a buzzer-beater 3 to take things into overtime. From there, the momentum continued, and the Mavs won 147-136. Kyrie scored a season-high 48 points with 25 in the 4th quarter in overtime, and Luka fell 1 rebound short of a triple-double with 37 points, 9 rebounds, and 12 assists. And speaking of basketball, you might want to check your brackets after last night's game between Purdue and the UConn Huskies. This was the NCAA men's national championship game, and one team made record-breaking history. Purdue's Zach Edey put up a fight with 37 points, but with 4 out of 5 starting Huskies scoring double digits, UConn won the game 75-60 to clinch their 6th overall title. They're also only the 6th team to win all 6 tournament games by double digits. This marked their 12th straight March Madness win of at least 13 points, and they became the first team since 2007 to win back-to-back national championships. And finally, the Texas Rangers just finished up their 4-game series against the Houston Astros, and this World Series rematch was a real nail-biter. The first game was a blowout win for the Rangers, 10-2, thanks to Adolis Garcia and Marcus Semien, each hitting a 3-run home run. The Rangers also won the second game 7-2, but lost the 3rd matchup as they were held to just 1 run for a 3-1 loss. Yesterday was the Rangers' chance to win the series, but home runs from Jordan Alvarez and Framber Valdez let Houston win the game 10-5 and end the series in a split. Looking ahead, the Rangers begin their 3-game series against the Oakland Athletics tonight, and they'll face the Astros in another series beginning Friday. That's all I've got for sports. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Gabby. You know, Avery, I cannot wait for these storms to pass and summer to roll around.
Yes, I am so with you, Grace. I cannot wait to see what is going on in South Padre and maybe head there for some fun.
Speaking of the South, many Texans will travel to South Padre Island over the summer for their vacations, and there's something new in store for tourists. When people go on the water, they think of going on boats, jet skis, or maybe even wakeboarding, but this new attraction is a sight to see. South Padre Island is introducing 2-seater cars with a steering wheel from Dubai with the name Jet Cars. These machines run on jet ski engines, and a mechanic says that these cars will be able to reach extreme speeds on the water. If you're concerned with the safety of these new jet cars, the mechanic has also noted that they keep the rider less wet and are actually safer than riding a regular jet ski. Avery, would you try out one of these water cars?
Girl, I can barely drive my own car, but if it's safer than a jet ski, I think we should be okay.
I'm right there with you.
Thank you for watching ntTV Nightly News.
Join us again tomorrow at noon and tomorrow evening at 6 here on North Texas Television.